Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today's June 18th, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line. I don't want to leave him hanging too long. Let's get through the intros here, the hooks. As they say, J.D. Vance sounds rational, actually, in all of this. He's made the rounds the last couple days all over the media, and he's actually sounding like a rational person. I'm not buying any of it. This is all an act, playing good cop, bad cop. Aardvarks, you can't keep just indiscriminately killing people. We have clips of them saying that, and I know Ruckus is going to scream he's an antiseptic, and I'm right there with you guys. I don't know what we're going to do about this antiseptic J.D. Vance now saying that you can't just indiscriminately kill people, but we'll take a look at that. Never forget, J.D. Vance is Mr. Technocracy, installed as vice president by Musk and Peter Thiel. Never freaking forget it. And he wears eyeliner half the time, too. So never forget these facts. No matter how good he's sounding right now, don't be snowed. It's all part of the con job. All right. Barack Hussein Obama, the first half white president here in America, they did a big grand opening of the presidential center there in the south side of Chicago. He had a bunch of degenerate celebrities there. We'll take a look at that. And somehow they all love George Bush now. So it just shows you how fake and gay all of this politics really are. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the MOU. I do believe we do have the MOU. The White House is still not posted. I was searching today. I was like, there's MOUs floating around everywhere. Should we even read it yet? I'm not even going to read it. You know what I mean? I guess it's official. It seems pretty official. The White House hasn't posted it, and everybody's arguing about the MOU. I'm like, dude, yesterday there was two conflicting MOUs, one from Iran, one from America. So it's just like, it's hard to be accurate with so much disinformation and misinformation out there. And we're trying to be as accurate as possible for you here now. We got that. A Supreme Court ruling on the marijuana and guns. We'll take a look at that. We got some public health news here. Some crazy public health news. It's looking like this is a thing. It's looking like Mind Journey is rolling out something akin to the med beds from Q PSYOP times. I don't know. We'll take a look at that. What else do we got here? We got economic news as per usual. We're going to take another look at old Peter Thiel's Secret Society. What are all these freak shows up to? We're going to take a look at, we have a little bit more Epstein reporting. We have geopolitical news, NATO 3.0. Ukraine just bombed the hell out of Russia. Russia says they're going to bomb the hell out of them back. That's war is ongoing and looks to be intensifying as we're winding down Iran. But how do we wind down Iran when Aardvark land continues to bomb Lebanon? They've bombed them after the signing of the MOU. We're going to take a look at all that. And they're still genociding the Palestinians, bombing refugees in tents, for crying out loud. There's just no end. There's no end to the bloodlust of the Aardvarks. I'll take a look at all that and much more on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. Let me blast through on this day in history. We'll bring on Ruckus and get to all of this insanity for you today. On this day of June 18th, we go back to the year 1178. 5 monks at Canterbury report something exploding on the moon shortly after sunset. It's the only known observation on this day, the year 1178. Then we fast forward to 1682. On this day, English Quaker William Penn founds Philadelphia. in the Pennsylvania colony. And we fast forward to 1812. On this day, we kicked off the War of 1812. The War of 1812 begins when the U.S. declares war against Britain. On this day, 1815, the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon Bonaparte and France are defeated by British forces under the Duke of Wellington and Persian troops under Field Marshal von Blücher. And this is the event, right, where it's alleged that the Rothschild agent, I forget his name, came back early and said that Britain had lost. And then that tanked the British economy, and then they bought it up for pennies on the dollar, is allegedly how the story goes there. And it turns out that Britain actually won. So there was no reason for their economy to crash, is how the lore of that story goes, how the Rothschilds took over the English economy essentially on this day, 1815. 1847, we saw the first photograph of lightning. 1847, American photographer Thomas Martin Easterly takes the earliest known photograph of lightning. That's here it is. It's hard to make out on his 1847 camera, but here is the first ever photograph of lightning, allegedly, according to On This Day in History. Okay. Moving forward here to 1873. On this day, Susan B. Anthony is fined $100, $2,200 in 2020 value. There is no inflation. We love the Federal Reserve. For voting for U.S. president in New York, she refused to pay, and no further action was taken against her, surprisingly enough. 1928, on this day, we had a lot of big women's achievements or events on this day. Amelia Earhart was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic on this day. 1964, on this day, black and white activists attempt to desegregate a motel swimming pool in St. Augustine, Florida. Owner pours acid into the pool. Police arrest dozens, including 17 rabbis, and the Ku Klux Klan firebombs the hotel. Fun times there. 1968, on this day, Supreme Court bans racial discrimination in sale and rental of housing. On this day, 1983, we saw the first woman in space, allegedly. Space Shuttle Challenger 2 launches. The first American woman into space, astronaut Sally Ride, allegedly, if you believe this. I have a hard time. Not the woman part, the space part, but that's a discussion for another show. 1994, on this day, and it was rumored that Trump won the gold medal at this event. 1994 in New York City, we saw the first gay games open. 1996, on this day, the Unabomber was indicted. Ted Kaczynski, suspected of being the Unabomber, is indicted on 10 criminal charges on this day. Almost like the Unabomber had a crystal ball and could see the technocracy. Huh? And side note, it's also been reported out there he was a victim of MK Ultra mind control. On this day in 2020, and don't we miss the days of horror, the bat horror with the death count? Where would it be? With the death count and the case count in the top of our screens when we're locked down, fearing for our lives if someone coughed. Don't we miss those days? I certainly do. In 2020, on this day, the global bat death toll passed 450,000, we're told, with 8,400,000 421,357 cases, according to your friend of mine, medical terrorist John Hopkins. And so we do appreciate their efforts and exposing themselves for those that have eyes to see and a memory that indeed all these governments at the very top level are working in unison to implement bat tyranny against us, a la Operation Lockstep. And then those few that didn't want to go along with the program, if I remember correctly, there was a 3, 4, 5, something like this, African presidents that had mishaps. Remember, one of them was a biologist, and he said, he took that PCR test, and what was it? A papaya, a goat, all kind of crazy stuff tested positive. But we believe John Hopkins and thank them for saving us from the bats, obviously. Okay, we got a couple events here on this day in our civil liberties history. We go back to 1948. CIA gets covert action authority. National Security Council Directive 10-2 or / I guess is how it's written here, regarding the Office of Special Projects on this day gave the CIA formal authority to conduct covert actions overseas. The CIA had been already conducting covert actions since it was established in 1947. Well, gee, thanks their National Security Council directive for giving us a paper that says could do what we were already doing. It's also it's just so crazy. Some of its most important early covert actions involved providing secret financial support to centrist and anti-communist political candidates in Italy and France in 1947 and 1948. The CIA also engineered a coup that overthrew the government of Iran in 1953. And then the government of Guatemala in 1954. And as documented by the Senate Church Committee, created on January 27, 1975, the CIA also plotted the assassination of numerous foreign leaders in the war on terrorism under George W. Bush. We'll get to him. Now all the Democrats love George W. Bush. The CIA engaged in the torture of terrorist suspects. The Senate Intelligence Committee issued a blistering report on CIA abuse December 9th, 2014. And then on this day in 2013, we want the whole haystack. Administration official explains surveillance philosophy. Testifying before the House Intelligence Committee on this day, Deputy Attorney General James Cole explained the government's philosophy on national security surveillance by saying that if you're looking for the needle in the haystack, you have to have the entire haystack to look through. In short, the government feels justified in collecting virtually all communications by Americans. The hearing came in the wake of revelations of mass government spying based on national security documents stolen and released to selected news agencies by Edward Snowden, an NSA contract employee. Cole did not invent the whole haystack metaphor. The first usage occurred in early June by Jeremy Bash, former chief of staff of CIA Director Leon Panetta, on MSNBC. An intelligence official used it in a closed-door briefing for members of Congress on June 11, 2013. NSA Director Keith Alexander later used it at an Aspen Security Forum on July 18, 2013. And so they have to spy on us to keep us safe from the terrorists that Western intelligence creates. And so I don't know what we'd do without them. I guess we'd all be blown up by terrorists of our own making. All right, here's our segue to the news. Trigger warning, extreme anti-Septicism coming out of Vice President Vance here. I'm shaking. I was shaking earlier just listening to it. Let's take a listen to J.D. Vance here.
But yeah, you've seen people in their system, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, who've attacked the deal. And I guess my response to them would be, what is your exact proposal? And, you know, you're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have. Look at but
wowzers. Ruckus, how are you doing this Thursday?
I am great because apparently I died because the news is so unbelievable. It can't possibly be real. Maybe I'm in a coma. Maybe this is all a dream.
Did we die during the bat times? That's a theory out there. The world ended and we're just in a simulation now.
We may have maybe we tipped into a wormhole or something. There's at least 2 or 3 news stories that we're going to be discussing today that I'm just like, this isn't real. There's no way this is real. But I mean, like, it's starting right there with like, they're like, we're like celebrating the fact. I'm joking about the surrendering thing, of course, but like now you can stop saying day number XYZ of the Iran war in your video titles. I had to correct yours today and say it's day 0 of no war with Iran. I'm just so pleased that everybody is finally in my lifetime, it would appear, hopefully crossing my fingers, ready to give world peace a chance. Well, world peace, they might be into that, but I don't believe for a second that any of these idiots are interested in world peace. So what's the long game here? What are they up to? Is this just a trick because they see their favorability numbers are kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, that's right, tanking.
In the toilet, like, yeah.
Sheesh, we better do something in a hurry because these people are going to go vote again. And the way things are headed, it's not looking like they're going to vote for us. So is that what's going on here? Or is this a dirty trick? Or is all of this just market manipulation? And they're like, oh, they're on to our game. So we got to play a little bit differently now. And they come out with their MOU and their fancy legal sounding. And it's not even like a legally binding thing. This whole thing can fall apart again tomorrow. You watch, by Friday, we'll be like bombing somebody. We'll bomb Cuba and take over Karg Island and invade Greenland all at the same time.
We do have Cuba news. Cuba's making concessions to capitalism. We'll get to that later in the show.
So all of that's to say, a long way of saying that put me in the skeptical section on the whole peace thing.
Should we report J.D. Vance for these transgressions against Aardvark land?
Oh, I already did. So
you reported, I did.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're good.
So Greenblatt at the ADL, we're looking out for you, brother, and we can't handle these transgressions against genocide. All right.
It's like you can't just kill your way to blah blah. I'm like, yeah, they can. They've been doing it. Like, who's stopping them again?
It's kind of their thing, right? It's their thing. So yeah, it's all so horrific. But yeah, J.D. Vance looking like a rational, real vice president. Shocking, right? Oh man. Well, it's a day for celebration in Chicago, Ruckus, because the Obama Presidential Center has opened. Let's watch this short clip from Michelle Obama.
Opening the Presidential Center right here on the south side of Chicago, it's truly a full circle moment. I mean, so much of my existence as a child into high school was driving past this very location where there was really nothing. It was a highway, it was a dangerous place, it was an unutilized park space, and I always wondered what was going on there, right? But to now be a part of, this amazing center that Barack, that you built. I mean, this is your vision, and you and the team have executed it in a superb way. I mean, this is beyond a gift. And I've said this many times before, the notion that kids like me will have a magnificent space full of history and hope and art and leadership and activity right in their backyard. There's nothing more full circle than that. So, thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Thank you.
Oh, they're so wholesome, Ruckus.
Yep, we all know that.
Here is let's hear a little bit. Obama put on, what did they do? They got like how long is this? They put out a big, like a 3-hour video. Obviously, they're not going to play that. I'll link to it for those Obama fans in the audience, if there are any. I seriously doubt it, but I will link to all this. Here's a short clip of Obama about as unsettled as we are as people. People are looking for perpetual anger and division. That's all Obama does is create division and anger. That's like what his job was. Like racism in America was basically over before Obama came, for those that are old enough to remember. And then he drove that big racial divide right back in the center of this country. Let's hear a little bit of this con man. They're all con man. Con man Obama here.
And I remain convinced that the overwhelming majority of Americans feel the same way. That as unsettled as we are, people aren't looking for perpetual anger and division. They are looking for fairness and common sense and mutual respect. That deep in our gut, we want to find a way to turn towards each other again, not further away.
Everything this guy did while he was president was to divide this country.
Yeah, why was he standing behind bulletproof glass like that? That's weird.
Everybody loves him. That's why.
Yeah, well, I would. They said that about him. They say that about Trump. They both had their thing, and everyone in between was just like, whatever. We just do what we want, and so yeah. By the way, I need to correct you about the whole racism thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Israel was a country leading up until Obama. Throughout most of our lifetime, right? They were around, right? And they've been doing their, hey, we're better than everybody thing, right? Isn't that technically a definition, a form of racism? Just wanted to, put that out there.
No, they're God's chosen people.
Oh, big difference then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, yes, you're right. Yeah. In this country, anyways, the people our age, specifically Gen X, we were done with that. We were so over it. I mean, it was literally in the rearview mirror. I mean, it was like we didn't even think about it. It was like, that's how it was. That's how far gone it was. Gone. It was done. It was like, wow. And it was like, subconsciously, I think we all kind of felt like if we had held on to it, I think we would have grown up to a certain age to today or down the road to say that was our generation that racism just kind of quietly disappeared for good. You know what I mean? But then, no, these people and their politics and the people who go vote for them, it's all your fault. You're the real racists. Anyways.
What do we make of this? They all love George Bush. George Bush went to this opening ceremony. They're all good buddies with George Bush. Here's the whole crew, all war criminals. They should all be locked up for the good of society. Who knows? Millions of people's deaths here. When you add them all up, millions upon millions, these characters are responsible for killing. But yet somehow we're supposed to praise them. And then here's George Bush with all these Democrats. Like it doesn't like that. They're showing you the scam here. We hated George Bush. The Democrats hated him. I can remember back to the time that's what brought about Obama, because George Bush was so hated for his wars in the Middle East. And yet now they're good buddies. It's just like,
it's because they all have something in common.
They're all war criminals.
There you go.
That's a disturbing picture, just looking at these characters.
Isn't it interesting that they're not there's nothing particularly, they don't necessarily look like over the top evil like you would picture in a movie or in your mind. And they certainly don't look like over the top, kindred spirits and kind hearted, gentle angels and attractive people. They're just somewhere in between. They're just, you know what I mean? But they're capable of committing the most heinous acts of evil on the planet, but they're just so unassuming. You know what I mean?
What is up with Hillary's jacket? She has an oversized trench coat on. Does she have hey, I wouldn't doubt if Hillary has a bunch of guns underneath his jacket or something. Like, what the? Everybody else is like, yeah, pretty normal dress looking. But then Hillary has this big oversized trench coat. Like, she has a bunch of weapons under there or something. Like, she's ready to go.
By the way, I noticed Trump wasn't in the picture with Melania there as well. They forgot somebody, but hey, oops.
These characters showed up. How the hell is old Tom Hanks allowed to show his face in public? He was there. Tom Hanks was there. Let's go through some of these celebrities in attendance at the inauguration opening there of Obama Center in Chicago. Tom Hanks was there. Isn't this guy? Didn't he have to move like to Greece or something for running from all the accusations of being a PDF? Pretty sure. Her, Oprah Winfrey, she's all up. John of God, she's all up in the Epstein files. Like, how do these people show their face? Huh? And we're just supposed to act like, oh, you're Oprah. You had a show and you give people money. No, you're evil freaking demon woman. This guy all up in it too. John Legend all up in the PDF stuff. They're in Hollywood. Him and his weirdo wife, right? This guy too. And it just goes on, man. This guy, Tyler Perry. I don't even know who these guys are. Probably some weirdos. Eddie Vedder. I don't know what happened to Pearl Jam. And was that song Jeremy mind control for mass school shootings? Was that part of it? I don't know. Jennifer Hudson. These characters, like, seriously? 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 We're just supposed to forget over 1 million. How many dead Iraqis? Million. Over 1 million. Oh, George Bush is a good guy. What? What? Valerie Jarrett? It's a party of war criminals. Genocide Joe there? If that's even him, or is that guy wearing a mask? Who even knows at this point? It's just, and we're just supposed to not have a memory and just celebrate war criminals, literal war criminals. Guilt. They're responsible for millions of people's deaths.
That was not the real Joe Biden. That was a guy pretending to be Jim Carrey wearing a mask, wearing a Joe Biden mask. So it was like two masks in one. This is good for the economy. This is good for America, because when these people get together, they do order an unusually large amount of pizza. At least that's what the stories say. They say lots of pizza was served. I'm not sure anyone did any follow-up to see exactly how much of that went to the local economy, who they ordered it from, what their toppings were, or anything. But we have it on good authority that they ordered lots of pizza.
Here's JD Vance trying to sell us that Donald Trump's a human. I don't think he's a human, but they're trying to sell us that he's a human. Listen to this.
Donald Trump is much different as a human being than the media makes him out to be. He's very warm. He's a very loving person to his kids, to his grandkids. He's incredibly generous. Like, if you see Donald Trump, in the Oval Office, it's like he has to give you a gift. Like, he has to, whether it's,
He'll just give you $100 bills because he devalued the currency to where it's not worth jack. He'll give you a $250 bill with his face on it because it's not worth jack due to debasement of our currency. Excuse me.
Water bottle or a MAGA hat or a coin or a pin. Like, he's one of these people who he really likes hospitality. He really likes making other people happy. I had no understanding of that from him.
He also likes bombing people as well. Are you buying this charm offensive from JD Vance, Ruckus?
No, yeah, no. Something's going on. My thumb is pricking, and you know what that means.
Trump even said they can't just keep knocking down buildings in Lebanon.
Trump said that?
Trump said that.
Wow. Yeah, see, I think I understand what's going on here. So Trump's he's gonna move off the stage. We'll just put it that way. And yep, then Vance will have to step on in. That's what's going on.
Trigger warning here. JD Vance being critical of our shadow president, Bibi. I don't know what we're going to do with this Vance character.
What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Oh my gosh. Trump's the only one in the whole world that even halfway likes these fools at this point.
Yeah.
And then here's Bibi, shadow president. Bibi Netanyahu is now holding the world hostage and openly admits he will not comply with any peace deal, instead moving forward with the greater Aardvark land agenda. Netanyahu says he wants to control all of Gaza and will continue the war in Lebanon. We do not leave as long as Aardvark land security arrangements are not in place. It's time for Bibi to be arrested. That's what Shadow of Ezra on the X said, and there's video of it, but it's and it's English subtitles, and I think everybody's sick of Bibi. Anyway, we do have some more Bibi later in the show, but yeah. So, and they're saying it. Smotrix saying it too. They all said it. They've been saying it this last week. We're gonna continue building the Greater Aardvark Land Project, continue the genocide. And yeah, whatever, dude, about your peace deal with Iran, basically, is what they're telling us. And Iran says it's a stipulation, stop bombing Lebanon is part of the peace plan.
Right, that's why I was skeptical about the peace thing. But now I'm more concerned about why are we so openly, again, with this, the Overton window surrounding the Aardvark land issue. It's like it really, like we went... No, I mean, you go back, shoot, we've come a long way with this discussion. It used to be like you literally couldn't say anything. And here it's one of the most talked about discussions happening in this space. And I wonder how much of that is really going on. This might be a bigger wedge issue between people than even we realize, those of us who are talking about it on air, because I see it emerging just from regular people every day, and I'm just like taken aback by like, whoa, hold on a second. Wow, it's like, oh, neat, you feel that way, do you? That's it. But hold on, why do you feel that way? Because normally you're not allowed to feel or think these types of things. And then like now Vance buttering up and like, what? I mean, like, is the divide on this issue enough in this country to be a kicking point for some sort of civil war is what I'm wondering. Because I'm just going to throw a wacky, this is just me. I'm writing a story. This is a fictional scenario. FBI, don't come at me. Nobody. I'm a very creative person. I read a lot of fiction. I used to watch movies. Okay. So just a scenario. Like in this type of an environment, what if something happened to this sitting president, not this one, I'm talking about a fictional one. If you were a sitting president in my fictional scenario, but doing the same type of stuff as this, what if Aardvark land decided, okay, that's it, buddy, we need to take you out. And there's some sort of public event. And now everybody, they give a patsy, just like they always do, that nobody believes. And it's just like the most ridiculous story. They're like, oh, it was Russia or something.
No, it'll be Iran. It would be Iran.
Well, I know they would just insert their false flag, but maybe just so because that would be too obvious, they might go with something else. They might be like, oh, it's a Chechenian or something like totally left field, right? Because everyone would expect the Iran thing. That's why I suggested that. But the armchair detective detectives, and everyone be like, oh yeah, haha, yeah, right, we know who really did this, similar to the way people felt about the Kirk thing, right? So it would deepen this divide between people who believe that there's some sort of deep conspiracy going on. And I mean, that's pretty damn serious if we have like a large portion of the country who believes that a foreign country took out our leader. That's a little different than just like arguing back and forth in that's crazy. That's crazy. And then, I mean, that could, I hate to say it, but I mean,
they are trying to merge. They are trying to merge with our military in the 2027
and people
NDAA.
are pushing back, and people saw what happened to Massey. That's all I'm saying. It's like, it seems like this is all intentional so that people will pick a side about something. And I'm just concerned that it's so easy right now for them to stage some actual civil war over this. But the kicking point, the inflection point would have to be an exit off the stage from the sitting president. And everyone points their finger at Aardvark land. But I mean, that would be crazy, because the other half of the country, the one with more guns than the rest of them, I hate to admit it, are going to be like the pro-Israel, Zionist, conservative, Fox News viewer, 100% sold the lie, and they could be easily. So I mean, this could be the one. This could be the thing, because I don't see people ready and willing to do such a thing over politics in general, over race. Are you kidding? Come on. But this has some sort of palpable feel to it. You know what I mean? Especially if they look how World War I kicked off with the public assassination of King Ferdinand, or whatever he was, Duke, right?
Archduke Ferdinand. Yeah.
So
But the Black Hand, they even admit a secret society, the Black Hand killed the guy, right?
So we're at a very precarious situation right now. So everybody be on high alert, keep your head on a swivel, and all that fun stuff. Good
segue here, Ruckus, too. Meme of the day from the White House. We really saved America before Grand Theft Auto 6. And they put this meme out. This is from the White House. Like, really? But yeah, they did. Make America great again. 47 there in the in Grand Theft Auto themed meme there.
I got some bad news for them. If you know anything about the whole Grand Theft Auto 6 thing, I mean, that's not a difficult feat. I'm going to write a best-selling novel and direct a Hollywood movie before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. So, I mean, shoot, you could insert anything, blah, 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 before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. See, it's easy.
I think it was announced it's coming out soon or something today. I don't play video games. So.
Right. Now, is this a crypto market scam? What's the betting going on, Polymarket?
America is respected again on the world stage, they tell us here now, with Howard Lutnick in the background. How are we respected? Everybody knows this guy's a giant criminal. They all are, but especially Howard Lutnick. Like, dude, seriously? This is from the White House. America's respected again on the world stage. Seriously? We'll get to, I guess I'll just say it now and then we'll get to it here, Ruckus. Officially, Wikipedia says Iran won the war. And isn't that the official?
Until Trump says something, or the internet goes down for 3 days and it pops back up and it says, U.S. won.
Peace through strength. Here's Trump signing the memorandum with little Marco. Secretary of State, turns out, was looking over his shoulder there. and he told us it was in Versailles, France. And so they made a big deal about that from previous peace deals being signed there. Okay, so Trump's pushing back on the $300 billion claim. He says there is no $300 billion payment to Iran by the United States. That's fake news. All there is for the U.S. is success, lower oil prices, and victory. Not according to Wikipedia. Check out the stock market. He says, Democrat propaganda at play. I don't know. Trump, the official source on the internet, says Iran won. They go on to say, this is out of the White House, not a single U.S. penny, because we don't mint pennies anymore. Oh, they leave that part out. Not a single U.S. penny is going to Iran, and Iran gets nothing unless they fully comply with our demands and change their behavior. Iran's not the one bombing people right now, bro. It's your best buddies over there in Aardvark land. All you do is lie, obstruct, and make noise. You've accomplished nothing. That's why your constituents fired you. And this is a reply to Massey. Let's put that up on the screen here. Massey said, $300 billion is 5 times as much as Congress spends on roads and bridges annually. I'm tired of winning. The USA undertakes the regional partners to develop a definitive mutually agreed plan with at least $300 billion for reconstruction and economic. And it goes on there. The White House is debunking and rejecting these claims of the $300 billion to Iran. And then here's the big one from Trump. He threw Lebanon in there. He says earlier today, the United States is committed to peace. Well, let's hope so. Even though, a couple weeks back, the White House said disregard all Trump internet talk because it's all propaganda and PR. Anyhow, back to earlier today, he said the United States is committed to peace. Let's hope so. I have serious doubts. And we encourage everyone in the Middle East region to maintain their commitment to allowing our negotiations to beautifully unfold. The markets are loving what is happening with oil prices way down and stocks way up. We expect a complete ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Aardvark land. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, after the MOU was signed last night, Aardvark land did go ahead and bomb Lebanon some more.
So much winning.
When asked whether the U.S. would defend Aardvark land if it chose to strike Iran independently, Trump answered, yes, absolutely. And that's according to Aardvark Land Channel 14. The old, we won the war, but according to Wikipedia, we didn't. Supreme leader of Iran, Khomeini, still in charge. He put out a message. Let's see. Yeah, I'll read it from here. A couple different reportings about it. But Iran's Supreme Leader, Ali Khomeini, I guess that's what he's going by. I like the shortened title there. Ali Khomeini, who we've seen be smeared throughout the war as being fake, gay, arms, legs blown off, face disfigured, and gay again. We heard that.
Apparently there might be something to the gay part, but anyway.
Continuing here, he said Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khomeini, appeared to be publicly distancing himself from the Memorandum of Understanding earlier today, saying he initially opposed the Iran-U.S. MOU, but authorized it after President Pezeshkian, on behalf of himself and other members of the Supreme National Security Council, pledged to protect the rights of the Iranian nation and the resistance front. That's Hezbollah, that's Houthis, that's some other of these lesser known militia groups. He also went on to say U.S. President Donald Trump used all kinds of levers to secure the agreement, describing the effort as one driven by American desperation. He said Iranian officials assured him they would not be bound by any attempt by the United States to exaggerate or expand the agreement beyond its terms. Khomeini added that future face-to-face negotiations will not mean accepting the enemy's position, signaling continued resistance to U.S. demands. Originally, I had a different opinion, Khomeini said, describing his approval as contingent on guarantees from the Iranian president. And so if it goes sideways, we're going to blame J.D. Vance. And if it goes sideways for Iran, they're going to blame their president. We've already got fall guys. We got fall guys set up for when this whole thing goes sideways.
They've got it all wrong. It's Joe Biden's fault.
Continuing here, from this moment, earlier today, he was talking about, he made the statement, From this moment, we will wait for the fulfillment of the mentioned conditions, Khomeini said, indicating Iran now expects the agreement's terms to be implemented. So he's like trying to also not take the blame if this thing goes sideways, obviously. Well, it turns out IDF publishes map of southern Lebanon deployment after Trump signs the Iranian MOU. The military says troops are operating as far as 10 kilometers inside Lebanon to remove threats and protect northern communities. Here's the map. They took all this land and they're saying they're not going to retreat and give it back to Lebanon. They say many high ups there, Smotrich, Bibi, Katz have all said they're going to go ahead and keep all of this land in the red that they've occupied and secured so far. And so some Lebanese are trying to go back to their homes, and they're telling them, don't go back there. It's still not safe. And I believe that's probably accurate. It's not safe to go back to your home there. So in the face of peace, they're putting out maps of their, here's a better view of it, actually. Right here, they've taken all this land right here. You can see outlined there, the security zone line. And so literally thumbing it in our face, actually, in America's face here, by putting out, yeah, we're occupying all that land and we're not leaving, essentially.
That's wild. Well, at least we don't have to resort to the is that a real picture of somebody holding a picture of a map in some setting from the past?
Here it is, Ruckus. You tell me that Wikipedia is the official source. Here it is. Let's pull up the page. 2026 Iran war, and then we look down here. Result: Iranian victory. On Wikipedia, 2026 Iran war. Dude, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this?
Did you check the revisions? Was this like a contentious thing, like 5 million edits per minute?
Let's see. There's an awful lot there. Too much to check.
Some of these things get down to like the last minute, and it's like watching like the last final bids on your eBay auction. It's like, whoa, where did all that come from?
You'll like this, though, Ruckus. We did get a 33. It lasted 3 months and 3 weeks.
Heck yeah.
33 right there. So they have to tell you, right? And so that right there tells us with an Iranian victory, the worst defeat for America since Vietnam, we're told by foreign.
Okay, so we gotta keep track of today's date and look forward on the calendar 33 days from now to know when the next major PSYOP is, right? Is that how this works?
Possibly. Well, they say it ended yesterday on June 17th. So count 33 days from June 17th.
So I was right when I was messing with you on X. So today would be day 1 of no war.
Yeah.
Yesterday was day 0, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hard. It's like, or if you wanted to do one of the things where they changed the, like, how many days since a war without that, that's where I was going in my head. So we're 1 day so far, 1 day with no war with Iran. If we make it till tomorrow, it'll be 2, right? And then, but then by Friday, I'll have to take the whatever numbers off and bring it back down to 0, right?
Without bombing, yeah, this many days without bombing Iran, yeah. Okay, we'll come back to the all of that in the geopolitical section, but let's talk about this. Supreme Court sides with Texas man who says it's not a crime for marijuana users to have a gun. And so the Supreme Court ruled earlier today against a broad federal ban on gun ownership by marijuana users, the latest in a line of firearms cases from a court that has expanded gun rights. The justices decided unanimously that's in favor of Ali Daniel Manny, a Texas man, who argued that a law barring guns from anyone who regularly uses illegal drugs violates the Second Amendment. Well, it's legal in California, but I understand some states it's not. It's not legal there in Texas, is it, Ruckus? The marijuana?
No, but yeah. I moved from New Mexico where it was. So yeah, that was a state where, like, yeah, when you walk in to purchase, they still ask that question, despite the fact that right next door to the gun store, well, maybe not, but maybe 2 units down at least, there would be a dispensary selling marijuana, legally allowed. The state of New Mexico collecting a shit ton of tax revenue from it. I mean, like a shit ton. They did really good with doing that. It was a great idea. It was a great idea for a lot of states and cities that choose to do this kind of stuff. It winds up being good for them. Isn't that weird? But I mean, the cost of the stuff is expensive. But yes, you still have to go in there and then, like, yeah, let's say, oh, wow, like, oh, shoot, yep, you can't get a gun. You are, because of the federal law, which always makes zero sense. The idea is that, like, I guess if you smoke weed and you own a gun, you're probably going to take your gun and go shoot people or something. Like reefer madness all over again. What is this? It's so effing ridiculous.
And you're going to go rape white women.
Now, I strongly don't think that you should be operating your firearm intentionally after, like, let's say, like, don't smoke weed and go to the gun range. But I mean, like, just because you happen to smoke weed doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep a gun, own a gun, keep one near you. It certainly doesn't mean you won't be able to use it to end effectively and safely if you know what you're doing. Just because you may have smoked some weed before somebody came and threatened your life, you're still going to be okay. I assure you. Whereas a lot of other substances, probably not the case. So it does fall into this unique classification where, like, hey, of all of the substances, you could probably safely operate that thing if you had to, because, again, you only use these things when you have to, right? And you would probably be okay. But let's say you're drunk off your ass and you're slightly like, I can't even rack the slide.
Ruckus froze. Yeah, you will get a lot more violent off alcohol than the marijuana, I would say. So it's a good. What happened to Ruckus? He froze up there. Hopefully he can come back on. Huh, that was weird. Okay, continuing here. On to public health. So it was a major win there at the Supreme Court for our Second Amendment rights. On to public health now. The Trump administration isn't just talking about America's homeless crisis. It's taking action. What happened to Ruckus? He still froze. Go out and come back in. I think he's going to come back and do that. So HHS is pledging $700 million historic investment to address addiction, serious mental illness, and homelessness across America. Let's hope, and I don't have any faith in the government because it's just so corrupt. Let's hope this goes to people that actually need it. I would hope the $700 million goes to people that actually need it in this country and can help people. I have my doubts. This crazy one, Bobby Kennedy Jr. posted, they're using the Grand Theft Auto 6 theme here now. He says, we flipped the food pyramid before we got GTA 6. Let's watch this short clip. Hope Ruckus can come back on. I don't know what happened there. Weird. I don't know who's running the Fed's social media is on a Grand Theft Auto kick for some reason, and then they posted this weird stuff. Dr. Oz, take a breather. He posted this yesterday. Take a breather this Wednesday and scroll the savings on Trump rx.gov. It's just like they keep pushing drugs on us. Don't do drugs, kids, not their drugs. Here it is. And there's like, what is this? That's like a 13-minute video of him on the digital Dr. Oz on Trump RX looking for great prices on drugs. It's weird to me. Ruckus, you're back.
Yeah, I lost power. Sorry about that. Can you hear me all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Okay, you came right back for this story about this maybe med beds. Remember med beds?
Sort of. Why does that sound familiar?
Q was pumping that. They're going to roll out med beds, but here's something similar to med beds from Mind Journey. They've unveiled the Mind Journey scanner, the first working prototype of full body ultrasonic computational tomography. It uses a ring of thousands of tiny transducers to fire ultra-precise sound waves through the body. The returning echoes are captured at a staging 17 gigabyte per second, staggering 17 gigabyte per second, and the 806 terabytes of gathered data are then constructed by a 2 petaflop compute system into a highly detailed 3D map of your entire internal anatomy, organs, tissues, blood vessels, etc., in 60 seconds.
This is like to kill you or something? Or is this this is supposed to heal you?
It's supposed to heal you. The resolution is extreme. Each sensor can resolves motion smaller than the width of an atom, detecting internal tissue details down to 0.5 millimeter. The ambition is breathtaking. Mid-Journey wants to build a fleet of 50,000 of these scanners capable of delivering 1 billion full body scans per month. That's enough to make comprehensive full body imaging available to every person on Earth. They're not hiding it in cold clinical hospital settings either. The vision includes placing these scanners inside what look like Mind Journey spas, turning what's usually an annoying medical procedure into something genuinely pleasant. This is Star Trek level healthcare infrastructure, fast, safe, non-invasive, full body imaging at planetary scale. If they pull it off, it could fundamentally shift medicine from reactive treatment to proactive treatment, early detection on a global level. Let's watch the video that Mind Journey put out about this new project. Mid-Journey Medical.
Okay, this makes zero sense because Midjourney is an artificial intelligence artwork creator model who makes videos that looks exactly like what we just watched. So now I'm confused.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So
Is this real?
Yeah, that's
God,
right from their website. That's right from them.
All right. Well,
They're acting like it's real unless this is some type of other marketing scheme or something, but they're presenting it as real.
Okay, and then anytime I think of like a chamber or a bed or a tank or anything you're going to go inside of, most people think of the Matrix thing. For some strange reason, I keep going back to this movie. You remember this one, Sam? I bet you do.
Phantasm, yeah.
Phantasm. Of course, in that movie, it was a funeral home. But the thing is, like the dead loved ones, and were not like just being buried or cremated. No, the funeral home, they were sending them into like an alternate dimension, a third world, and through a portal, and then they would shrink down to like these little dwarf slave creature vampire things. It was a very strange movie. You have to be our age, I think, to really truly appreciate that. It is a bit of a cult classic. But yeah, like I don't trust this. So you're telling like, or body snatchers. So let's say people go line up to get whatever this treatment is. They go in. And the thing that comes back, is that still the same person that went in there in the first? I don't trust any of this. And does it heal you, or is this the suicide beds? Is this the made containers, made by Midjourney?
Wow, there's something to think about. They're rolling it out as a breakthrough Midjourney Medical. We'll see how that develops. Okay, let's take our live commercial break. We can only do 2 hours, so we're going to probably have to skip some stories here. But everybody go to weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a holograph sticker, a white background sticker, a clear sticker. We have coffee mugs, T-shirts, baseball caps, shot glasses, all kind of items at weaponizednews.com/shop. The link's in the description below this video. Give us a donation, Cash App, buy me a coffee, Bitcoin, wallet address, all those links are in the description below this video. Help support independent reporting and analysis, brought to you 5 days a week, broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time on all of your favorite channels out there: YouTube, Facebook, X, Bitchute, Rumble, Kick, Substack. Did I miss one? Probably missed one. Kick. Did I say that? Anyhow, become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. We give away everything free, but you can show your support for our efforts over here, where you'll get the full show on Weaponized News Substack. You'll get a summary of the show and links to almost everything we talk about over there. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. All of that's free for you. Go ahead and plug away there, Ruckus, please.
Just imagine sometime soon in the very near future, Sam, you won't have to swipe or click the like button. You can just do it with a thought in your head because you got the brain chip. But once you get the brain chip, make sure you tell it I would like to go check out alternatecurrentradio.com, because that's where you're going to find me and my buddies doing our thing. We got the Boiler Room, Sunday Wire, Roundabout Ruckus, Mystical American Patriot Society, and the Oddcast Out. The Odd Man Out podcast. He changed the name of his show on us. So anyways, but that's all available there. You'll also find a link to my X account, where, in case you missed it, there is something new coming. That's right. I am going to be releasing a new series called The Ruckus Files. Stay tuned for more information about that. If all goes well, I will actually have a special premiere pilot episode of that available this weekend. If not, I might push it up till next weekend. But what they will be are 5 to 10 minute long short form videos, probably mostly faceless. There may be shots of me as some A-roll in there, but I'm doing it a little bit different. Think Reese Reports meets Twilight Zone meets Ruckus. Very much a Ruckus thing, but I think you guys are going to like it. It's very different than what you've normally seen coming from me. So I'm excited to do that. So keep an eye out for that. That's the Ruckus Files. And of course, again, just go to alternatecurrentradio.com, because that's where it will be once it's available. There you go, Sam.
Right there. Give us the follow. You can contact us, direct message us over there on the X. You can see right there. All right. Thank you for that commercial message, and welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this Thursday, June 18th, 2026 edition. Let's jump right into Peter Thiel's Secret Society. Here's a short clip from Shannon Joy show where they're talking about Thiel's Trojan horse. And then we'll get into his secret society that's just been leaked out.
I want to stress that when somebody tells you who they are, you should listen to them. Okay? Peter Thiel has been investing in J.D. Vance for decades. He worked for him very closely. He was his counsel. Simultaneously, he helped him write his book, and he helped him get that movie made. Right? He's been building this Manchurian for a very long time. Right? This Trojan horse. And when Peter Thiel, almost a decade ago, said the problem with democracy is voters, we should have listened. And when he said, with no qualms, no fear at all in saying what he said, that right now voters get in the way of what needs to be done, he sees a world where instead of voters having a say, we have a CEO overlord that decides what's best for all of us, guided by a supreme intelligence he builds in a box in his basement like weird science, right? And in the midst of all of that, he said this very calmly, very, very openly, if we can find a way to get our technology into enough places within the government, we can circumvent the will of the voters and do what needs to be done. And they are doing it. Yes, so when people ask how long this has been the plan, it's been the plan from their beginning. And right now, there are a few things in life that scare me as much as a JD presidency.
Absolutely.
Few things. Because if you're close to Peter Thiel, who can't even answer a question, do you think humanity should survive without having a real problem deciding if we deserve to be on this planet Earth? Then I don't want you around me because you lack.
But Ruckus, JD Vance is saying all the right things right now, and Peter Thiel's warning society about the Antichrist in his lectures. So,
and anyone who warns society about the Antichrist must be a good person, right? He's quite saintly. I mean, he could practically be Jesus himself. I mean, he's so good at. He's married, isn't he, and kids, right? A good solid family.
To a man.
What's his wife? Oh, well, that's kind of weird. But anyway,
and he fled. And Peter Thiel recently fled to Argentina as well. We're told.
Wow, what? Just something weird about people fleeing to Argentina. Why does that sound like something from recent memory or history? I don't know.
A bunch of Nazis after World War II fled to Argentina.
What? That's crazy. I'm sure there's no connection there. By the way, shout out to Shannon Joy. That was awesome to see her. We used to be colleagues when I worked at Today's News Talk, TNT Radio, although mostly in passing, but I think she was on Joseph Arthur's show a couple of times. So I may have actually spoken to her on air. I don't remember, but she does great work, independent podcaster, journalist type person. So yeah, that was a good little bit there. I might have to watch that whole interview, but yeah, Peter Thiel, what a strange person, and more so than all of the stuff we're already mentioning, but also the fact that his name is what's that called, an anagram for the reptile. What? Get out of here! You can't make this stuff up, right?
The piano man came up with that. His name Foundering came up with that. He's like,
that poor guy gets banned. Like he's had his content removed from everywhere.
He's like the anagram Scrabble champion or something. I don't know. He's a great guy with exposing all this stuff. But yeah, he's heavily censored. But I believe he was the original source of that anagram. Peter Thiel equals reptile. When you rearrange the letters, it's just wow. Okay, on to it's been recently exposed now here, I believe, first through Wired magazine, some leaks. But yeah, it turns out that Peter Thiel has this secret society dialogue group, and they meet up and discuss building cults, sex life, all kind of weird stuff. Here's another article about it today out of Hollywood Reporter. Talking about just all the weirdness, and of course Hollywood Reporters reported on the actors that are part of the Dialogue secret society group. I guess it's not secret anymore because it's been leaked on the internet. But next time you watch a movie, in the back of your mind, spoiler alert, sorry to ruin it for you, but these actors are all up in Peter Thiel's secret society. Josh Brolin, Joseph Gordon Levitt, Sophia Bush, Isaac Lee, Scott Belsky, Benji Paskey, Eva Price, Teresa Hisano, Zach Shields, Nick Thompson, and Ezra Klein. Ezra Klein, see, these guys right here are just media people. The CEO of The Atlantic that wants amnesty for all the bat tyranny, if you can remember that, and all the other spin coming out of The Atlantic. And then, of course, the failing New York Times, Ezra Klein. So they got a lot of media people that are part of this secret society as well, and political people, including the richest man in the world, we're told, at least publicly, Elon Musk. Jared Kushner started the war, ended the war, and is trying to go about stealing Albanians' private property right now. Traitor to this country, your senator over there in Texas, Ted Cruz. Treasury Secretary Bassett, YouTube CEO Neil Mohan, Xbox President Sarah Bond, OpenAI President Greg Brockman, Anthropic Global Affairs Chief Michael Salido, Fortress Investment Group Principal Peter Berger, and TLG Communications founder Molly Levinson, among nearly 200 other figures as well. Here's the weird thing. A guide, which was also part of the leaked materials, instructs dialogue moderators on how to guide a conversation. Like, why are these people so weird, man? They're just so freaking weird. What else about it? The leaked materials show that dialogue maintains a vetting process for membership. I guess I'm not going to get in. Yeah, so a little bit more about it, but the ones that stuck out to me, some of the topics that they talk about at these super secret meetings are building a cult. Looks like we lost Ruckus there again. He's having power issues over there. So yeah, a little bit more about the dialogue group and who's part of that. So just keep that in mind with all your celebrity political heroes. They're doing other stuff behind the scenes besides what they're publicly presenting themselves as. Okay, quickly here, let's see. Let's blast through the Epstein news today. What did we have? We had I wanted to mention this story because Mac over there has mentioned this. Bard College. Congress opens investigation into Bard College's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Hopefully Ruckus can come back. I don't know. He's having power issues. The House Judiciary Committee has announced an expansion of its investigation into Epstein's relationship with prominent colleges and universities, including Bard College. Bard College Board of Trustees was notified about the expansion via a letter from the House Judiciary Committee Democrat, Jamie Ratskin. And so it goes back to this guy, right? And we've talked about him before, Dr. Leon Botstein. And it's the memes literally write themselves with this character, Dr. Leon Botstein. Wild. Are you back there with us, Ruckus?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, then we're good. Howdy.
Okay, so did you have any thoughts, comments on the secret society Peter Thiel stuff with all these celebrities and rich and famous, I guess, is what you
Is it an actual secret society? Because I kind of missed all that because of my power out. Or is this more like a book club? Because that's what it kind of seemed like to me. It's like a place where they just get together and chat about this kind of stuff. It's not like an actual secret society, right? Or am I wrong?
One of their meetings is about how to create a cult.
How? Yeah. Again. So, but they're taught. Yeah. It's so it's more like a workshop,
Kind of, you could say that.
like a
Yeah.
writer's workshop, right? If you're familiar with that kind of thing. So it's either a book club or a writer's workshop or somewhere in between. And if in between all that they happen to have tea and do an afternoon séance where they summon the devil, then so be it.
I guess if let's see here. Here's some more dirt from the Wire magazine. Let's see if I can find exactly. I didn't have that pulled up because I was looking at that Hollywood Reporter report about this. But let's see where they talk about what they have high up people. They have high up guy in NATO is there. A lot of high powered people. Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale. You gotta. It's this guy Peter Attali. He's all up in the Epstein files. He's a health guru. So all these different.
He's perfect. He's perfectly primed to start a cult, then, isn't he?
Google executives, Google DeepMind executives. They talk about in this Wired magazine. I'm looking for where they talk about what they're doing. The title.
This seems probably more at the crossroads of their other interests, which is the technocracy, technology, AI, all this weird stuff. Like one of these other guys who's involved in one of these big tech companies. Was it the Anthropic guy? It might be. But they're into like building an actual AI religion. They want to create like an actual AI god and stuff. It's really wacky. These people are into some really weird stuff.
Here's some of the themes of their meetings. Money does buy happiness.
But
Bring back nuclear. Navigating World War III. Battlefield technologies. How's your sex life? Build a cult. That was the name. Build a cult.
I want access. I want in. Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they release this to the public? Maybe like a Patreon or something?
No, it's all private, and they vet anybody that's part of it. So unless you're
this is a front, everybody. I know what's going on. This is the pre-screening for the billionaires' bunkers that we've been hearing so much about. It's a recruiting office.
How to Build a Cult is moderated by founder of Christian networking site Pray.com.
No, it's not.
That's what it says right here in this Wired magazine article.
What is going on? See, okay, yeah, we definitely slipped into multiple wormholes. Something's going on. This is weird.
Okay, off of that, we'll keep an eye on that. Just know that all your heroes out there are very suspect, to say the least. To say the least. But back to Epstein reporting now. You missed it, Ruggles, but yeah, Bard College is getting looked at heavily now by the House Judiciary Oversight Committee, specifically Dr. Leon Botstein there, that was forced to resign because he's all up in the Epstein files. And that's a link to one of our great loyal listeners out there, Mac, has sent me information about his dealings and abuse via this same crew of people. And so maybe we can put together a report about that. And if it's okay with Mac, we could put out that report. So anyway, Mac, if you're listening, because I'm not even looking at the chat right now, trying to get through as much news as we can, maybe we can put out a report about that. You sent me a couple reports about it, so maybe we could nail it down now that this is back in the news and report the abuse that you claim they did against you there many years ago. So anyhow, throwing it out there because, Botstein, right? It's just like the memes make themselves. And again, Vance says he's worried about potential taping of Situation Room discussions about Epstein.
Taping?
Yeah, because the New York Times wrote a book, and they've been pumping articles the last few days about Epstein, and they're alleging that they have leaked information from the Situation Room where Trump administration was meeting up about what they're going to do about Epstein. And so Trump
that needs a meeting at the Situation Room.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Because
Well,
they have it,
I would
because the
suggest
cover up.
that right there tells you everything you need to know then. Yeah.
New York Magazine claims Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself. And there's a big push out there in the Mockingbird media this last week that indeed Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself on the back of said New York Times book and articles.
It's very interesting, especially when you put this in light of what just happened to the 60 Minutes dude. I'm not sure if you were familiar with that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people might not have followed up with the story, but he's done numerous interviews since then. And not long story short, he said that like they literally came to him, like Barry Weiss or whoever it was, put pressure onto his boss and came to him and told him how to frame. They were telling him to frame stories in a certain light that he knew wasn't true. And it's just like, wow, it's just so in your face. And it was just because, and in this case, the examples they brought up were actually had nothing to do with aardvark land stuff. It had to do with more like Trump wants it to look this way. So we're going to make it look like they literally just came out and said it like, just like that. And he was like, whoa, journalism doesn't work like that, and then they eventually fired him, but it's like, it's crazy that that's where we're at. The administration needs to set up a meeting in the Situation Room as if this is wartime. Like the Situation Room is like, you see the picture of the shock on Hillary Clinton's face when they saw Osama, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, oh my God, what are we going to do about the Epstein files? Like, what? Come on. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Epstein Truth Commission to subpoena federal prosecutors, New Mexico agency says. So the Truth Commission out of New Mexico earlier today is now announced 9 more subpoenas it plans to issue. Those subpoenas will include 5 U.S. attorneys. And so the state of New Mexico is subpoenaing federal attorneys,
issuing subpoenas to
federal attorneys. So this is it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Yeah, but I mean, how long they're going to have to? I mean, because I know how this works, especially out there in New Mexico. They're also going to have to do this with judges, possibly former DAs, probably FBI agents. There's an FBI headquarters stationed right there downtown. All sorts of people, maybe members of the media. Did I say judges already? Definitely judges, police officers, captains. I mean, this is like this is a little Chinatown, this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, how are you going to like get all these people who are part of the system deeply embedded in it without, getting nowhere and or getting yourselves killed? I mean, I don't
We're
know.
going to see if
have fun.
We're going to see about the whole claim nobody's above the law here now. A former New Mexico attorney general says he was sidelined by the feds from probe into Epstein's ranch. Here's that report out of Scripps News. They say when former New Mexico Attorney General Hector Ballares began his investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's activities on Zorro Ranch, he never expected it to come to a grinding halt just as it began. But that's precisely what New Mexico's former top law enforcement officer says happened as he began to probe Epstein, his sprawling New Mexico property, i.e. Zorro Ranch. In 2019, he was 6 months into an investigation and had just interviewed one Epstein survivor. That's when he said he heard from federal officials who said they were also taking a look at Epstein. We were immediately contacted by a whole legal team in New York asking us to pause our investigation, he says. He obliged, saying the feds had the bigger hammer at the time and had agreed to share evidence and coordinate their efforts. That was all. If this New Mexico Attorney General was genuine, that was all a cover-up job. They're like, yeah, we're going to get the bad guys. Let's see all your evidence. And they took and freaking buried it. It's just, wow. It's high level. If you're really going after state attorney generals, it's very high level, Ruckus.
It's an entertaining Netflix series, at least.
Trump blamed Marjorie Taylor Greene for death threats against her son. He said, "You deserve it." And this is on the back of the fallout of her voting to go ahead and for the Epstein Files Transparency Act. One of 4 Republicans, all now thrown under the bus in the doghouse of Trump. MTG, Massey, Nancy Grace, and Lauren Boebert. I think Lauren Boebert's the only one that still could potentially remain a congresswoman. The other 3 are out now.
This is disgusting. I am absolutely outraged. I cannot believe that Joe Biden would say that somebody who received death threats deserves this.
No, it's Trump.
Oh, shit. Trump said that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I guess insert anybody's name here. Anyone who says that somebody deserves death threats is probably not a good person. But
her
anyway,
son,
what do I know?
Said her son deserves
Yeah,
the
I know.
death.
It's just, but you see what I mean? It's like, oh, if you can just forget who the person is that said it, can't we agree that should not be said? Like, what the hell? Anyways.
Sound like a panicking.
Yes, we all know I'm a panicking. I've got TDS all of a sudden,
Shaking all the time. At the sight of Trump. Trump's causing me to have tremors. Okay, no, seriously though. Let's blast through the economic news here. AI companies are engaging in doom trolling. The New York Times says they like to solemnly describe the harms that their models will cause while acting helpless to do anything about it. That's about right. It's going to end the world and everybody's going to be unemployed and starve to death, but it's just the way it is. Well, you guys are great philanthropists and humanitarians, aren't you? Meta's CTO, Andrew Bosworth, recently admitted during an internal June chat that employee morale at Meta is at near historic lows. I don't know why they're letting us actually have some free speech over there.
Wait, is this the company where the guy who owns it and created it, allegedly, Mark Zuckerberg, was caught on a hot mic saying we're just using all your hard work to train your replacement? I can't imagine what they might be upset about. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I can't imagine why the morale at Meta is so low. Mexico amends its constitution to cut the maximum work week from 48 hours to 40 hours by 2030 and gives 13.5 million workers the legal right to ignore their bosses' calls, messages, and emails after their shift ends.
How about during siesta?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the big one here, Ruckus, we have dipped below $4 a gallon. First time since the beginning of the Iran war here now. We're at $3.99 according to AAA for the average cost of a gallon of gasoline across America. So looking good, even though Wikipedia says we lost the war to Iran. At least the price of...
What am I supposed to be investing in now? I'm so confused. America, I get it. We're supposed to invest in America, right?
But the cost burden is still adding up of the Iran war here, Ruckus. The
IPO, the SpaceX. I know maybe it's a little late. I hope it's not too high of a price. Maybe I should buy some of that.
They don't even they don't even create any revenue, but okay. Brown University, the Watson School of International and Public Affairs. We've now broken $60 billion, the total consumer cost burden of the Iran war, and we're still adding it up. So it's going to be a minute until we get final totals on this whole thing. But you could see there over $60 billion total consumer cost burden since the beginning of the Iran war, February 28, 2026. And then the price for the consumer cost burden per household for across both diesel and gasoline is up to $459.17. You could see right there. So we're still at it. It's going to take a minute for all of this to add up. Thankfully,
if it goes like, since we're not having war now, it'll eventually slow down to a trickle and then stop. But will it go the other direction? Will we like earn money, or will money go back in people's pockets or something? Is that how this works?
No.
Oh, darn.
No. Strait of Hormuz allegedly open now. Commercial shipping is beginning to resume through the Strait of Hormuz. And so it's open for business now.
Hallelujah. I mean, you know, it was really bad of them to shut it down in the first place, wasn't it? At random, unprovoked.
Damn Iranians. I'm telling you. All right, where are we at here? Well, they did a little bit. This is how you're supposed to, instead of just killing them, the Coast Guard, see the Army or the U.S., I guess it would be Navy, U.S. Southern Command just whacks these guys. The Coast Guard's a little bit softer. Coast Guard, let's watch this short. They busted, they claim here now, U.S. Coast Guard, 225,000 pounds of cocaine seized through Operation Pacific Viper. That's a lot of freaking cocaine. But this is how you're supposed to do it. Like actually arrest the guys, not just blow them up. You know what I mean? Here's the Coast Guard little video about arresting the cocaine cowboys out there on the Pacific. Yeah, got to kill that. I probably got a copyright on that. But see, you go over there with your guns, you point them at them, they put their hands up. Maybe they shoot back, but you don't just blow up their freaking boat and say, well, we thought intelligence said they were narco traffickers. Like the Coast Guard is like doing what you're supposed to be doing on international drug interdiction. Right there, you could see, as opposed to the much harder stance taken by U.S. Southern Command. We played this yesterday, but it's worth. This is how the freaking U.S. Southern Command handles it. You know, that was like 2 days ago. They killed one and said that two lived. I don't know how you lived through that, but that was.
You know the expression, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Good on the U.S. Coast Guard. Not only did they do it the right way, but they also conveniently, for some strange reason, decided to provide Rastafarian reggae music as they were arresting the people. That's fantastic. That is so American.
Very trendy of them and not killing people. So good job, Coast Guard there. And so they arrest them, and then you take the evidence, and you're like, here's the evidence that says they're the bad guys, not just kill them. God. Extrajudicial assassination is murder. And I believe somewhere down the line here, the people responsible for that program are going to at least face something. Probably not get in trouble, but there'll be congressional hearings, something, because Democrats are all, they're going to make political hay out of this issue. Guarantee that. So here's a 5-second video, but U.S. Central Command, as there is a drug war going on here, underreported, I believe, in Mexico, Central and South America. This video is from Southern Command busting the smugglers. That's a lot of drugs. What did they say? 17.91 tons total combined volume of drugs, 8 vessels interdicted in the last 72 hours, they claim. And $290.19 million total revenue denied to designated terrorist organizations, 21 drug smugglers detained. Over 200 have been killed so far.
Denied. That's funny. And interdicted. What a fancy word that is.
So go to U.S. Southern Command, and you can see we're continually training. It's called America's Counter Cartel Coalition. Here they're talking about doing training operations with Chile. I've seen them with Honduras, Ecuador, a bunch of Central and South American countries. All are part of building out the greater North America project and getting those bad guys.
What was it called again? America's Counter, huh?
It's called America's Counter Cartel Coalition. And this
ACCC, the AC.
ACCC, yeah. This one they're talking about working with Chile. And then somebody else put, yeah, but you guys whacked a freaking, you guys blew up a dairy farm saying it was a cocaine factory.
No, whack is, that's West Africa's version of this. It's not, I'm sorry.
In Ecuador, according to the New York Times, they blew up a dairy and they said it was a cocaine factory, but it was actually a dairy.
Well, you know, have you ever had cheese, Sam? Cheese is a very addictive substance. I can see the confusion.
Maybe we're not going to invade Cuba. Cuba's making concessions. The Call Me Cubans are making concessions to the capitalists. Report out of Clash report, they say Cuba's government proposed its biggest economic overhaul since the 1959 revolution, seeking to revive the economy under mounting U.S. sanctions. The plan would allow private real estate development, permit private banks, convert some state firms into share-based commercial companies, and reduce restrictions on private businesses. The prime minister there, Manuel Marrero, said the reforms would use market mechanisms to improve efficiency while remaining consistent with Cuba's socialist system. The 175 proposed measures require approval by the Cuban National Assembly. So they're trying to do something to show these bankers that don't come whack us. So
just bring them a bunch of your finest Cuban cigars and it's a done deal.
We'll see. They keep saying that is Trump, little Marco, a bunch of them. I think Hegseth said it too. Cuba's next, right? So we shall see here. Now, here's the new U.S. Pacific Command logo. This came out a couple days ago. Kind of weird, the spike right through the back of the eagle. I guess it's not, I don't know, kind of weird, but yeah, U.S. Pacific Command, new logo there.
Yeah, no, that stands out.
You like that logo?
No, I don't. What I mean, that part of with the eagle is very, very weird.
Looks like the spikes going through the eagle, right through the eagle, right? Like
correct.
Yeah, that doesn't look right.
And how many we got? Can you? I got a split screen going.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So it's a clock.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 o'clock midnight, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that, basically.
Operation Midnight Hammer.
Hey, there's a hammer again. Well, yeah.
NATO 3.0 has been announced by U.S. War Secretary Pete Hegseth. Here he is at the NATO meeting. There's with Ruger, and this picture right here. This is like the dark smoky room, and these people are deciding the fate of the world, right? That's what I get that vibe from this image of Pete Hegseth at the NATO meeting. NATO 3.0. Let's watch this short clip from Department of War. NATO 3.0.
The United States has defended Europe for generations. For too long, NATO has been a paper tiger and a one-way street. It's not going to cut it anymore. And so we're doubling down on our effort to make NATO what it always was supposed to be, a balanced alliance with Europe in the lead for its own defense, NATO 3.0. I'm announcing today a 6-month Department of War review that will examine America's force posture and basing in Europe. It will be designed to ensure that NATO is moving fast and irreversibly toward Europe leading. Going forward, our annual NATO dues will be contingent on other countries meeting their defense spending targets. Where other allies do not spend with urgency, our dues contributions will go down. This is the right thing to do by the American people, and it's time.
NATO 3.0, Ruckus.
I didn't even know there was a 2.0. Yeah, I must be behind on my NATO branding. Anyways.
Well, they're killing a lot of Russians, so you need to get up to speed here. Here's NATO's head Reuter talking about they're killing. How many?
Who? What's his name?
Root. But I always hear him pronounce it Reuter. But anyway, Root. R-U-T-T-E. He says what we're seeing is between 30 and 35,000 Russians killed each month. So they claim they're killing a lot of Russians there in Ukraine via NATO, via America. Are they killing 30 to 35,000 Russians a month? I don't know. That's the claim he's making. That's a lot of.
They got to pick up the pace if they want to hold a candle to Aardvark land. Anyway.
Here's Moscow this morning. There was a giant NATO attack, or excuse me, Ukraine attack, all about the same. As remember, we're still in a proxy war with Russia via Ukraine. So here's the view from in Moscow this morning. I'm gonna kill that music, but yeah. And then we'll get some other images of this major attack by Ukraine on Russia petroleum factory. Ukraine drones hit Gazprom Neft oil refinery in Russia. Quite a giant cloud was created here. Let's see, one of these was a really good shot. Here's a far, and it zooms in right here. Oh. They blew the lid off this thing. You could see the lid in the air there. See that? That's crazy. That's freaking crazy, Ruggers. They literally blew the lid off of it. Whatever that was.
I saw a few still images. It almost looks like a freaking UFO. It's crazy.
Look at this one. This one's a pretty good shot of it as well.
And a drone did that?
A drone did that.
Wow. Okay.
Here's another shot of it, and it was more damage than just that. As you can see, this wide panning shot of that petroleum facility in Russia on fire. So Russia said they love this from Ukraine. No, actually, Russia's effing pissed, as you would expect. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov said Russia will carry out massive airstrikes on Ukrainian armed forces targets. The task set by Putin is being fulfilled. Words alone are not enough in response to Kiev's actions. So we just at least stop bombing Iran, maybe, hopefully. Now it's cranking up hot and heavy in Russia, Ukraine again.
And you just know we've got to get involved. I mean, we've got a whole department dedicated to war. I mean, what else are they going to do? They're just going to sit around and twiddle their thumbs. Do not let Pete Hegseth have that much free time on his hands. He might start drinking and abusing women again. Anyways.
It's going to get it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly in Russia, Ukraine.
Can I say something about this?
Even uglier than it already is. Than 30 to 35,000 dead Russians a month, according to NATO.
Now, but the drone warfare thing, I mean, like, maybe we're being spoiled too easily, the boiling frog syndrome of how the swift progression of technology, especially on the battlefield. I mean, go back just 10 years ago, and it's like the idea of drones running around delivering fire, like a payload, especially a payload like that size. This is stuff out of like a video game or science fiction. I mean, this stuff has come a long way, and it's happened very quickly. And now we just see it every day, and we're like, oh yeah, drone. Like, dude, can we go back to like when that was like, hey, we should never allow it to like where we're using robots and drones and AI to blow shit up. No, it's normal now. It's been so freaking normalized. It's insane. Just wanted to point that out.
Here's a meme of the day from the Department of War. Trump showing his feminine side, sewing an American flag. America stays winning. Maybe you guys want to talk to Wikipedia about their entry on who won the Iran-U.S. war. I'm just saying.
So Trump is Betsy Ross now?
He is. This is his softer side. When he's not killing Iranians, he's mending tattered American flags. Giant contracts are coming out of the Department of War here now. The Office of Strategic Capital. Have you ever even heard of them, Ruckus?
No. Are they on this? Can I invest in them?
No.
Oh,
It's a government agency, actually, that's taking our tax money to invest in war. They've been making announcements all this week. They made another one, how wonderfully they're spending $725 million conditional loan commitment with Energy Fuels, Inc.
Now, that sounds like something I can invest in.
You might be able to invest in Energy Fuels, Inc. I don't know if they're public or not, but there they are, Energy Fuels. They just got a giant government loan. They claim loan, right? Conditional loan commitment, building on its foundation in uranium production. Energy Fuels is expanding its processing facility in Utah and is planning a new U.S. metals and alloy facility to bridge the gap between raw extraction and permanent magnet production, as all of these rare earth minerals that takes to make the magnets that are the inputs into technocracy, we've been cut off in large part by China. And so we got to figure out how to dig this stuff out of the ground and process it ourselves here in America, Ruckus.
Have these people heard of a shovel?
Well, apparently Energy Fuels has, and they're working directly now with the Department of War.
I wonder if they have a scam crypto coin or something.
Maybe the Office of Strategic Capital. I didn't even know such a thing existed. It was established, I believe, 3-4 years ago under the Biden administration by then Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, and the Office of Strategic Capital.
It says here 3 years and 3 months ago.
There you go. Really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. So we're trying to do something, acting like America first. I don't know. We can live on our own without Chinese imports.
We're going to at least act like it. That's
at
nice.
least act like it. Okay, the final section of the show, because we're going to try to keep it to 2 hours here, because I know Ruckus has to go and I have to go. But let's blast through the end here. Back to Shadow President Bibi is preparing lobbying campaign to influence final U.S.-Iran deal, according to CNN. Bibi is preparing a lobbying campaign aimed at influencing the final terms of the U.S.-Iran agreement during the upcoming 60-day negotiating period. And so we should just have him as our president, actually, and get rid of Vance, Trump, and just have Bibi negotiate on America's behalf, right?
Wait, who and what are they lobbying to affect this deal? It's certainly not the American people, right?
Well, they're lobbying for their own interests.
But who are they lobbying to? The president directly?
Yeah, the president and
well, that's
the cabinet, you could say.
Should this be a thing? Should that much access and that ability to try to persuade the final agreements in a peace negotiation? What the F?
And senators, according to CNN, Netanyahu plans to mobilize pro-Aardvark land senators and prominent right-wing media figures to pressure U.S. President Donald Trump to shape the negotiations.
This sucks, dude. During the bad emergency, the best they could do, I mean, at least they were bribing the people with, like, you know, free joints and Krispy Kreme donuts and fries with their hamburgers. Remember the fries? The fries. But yeah, no, instead, now Aardvark land just bribes the administration directly. That's crazy.
And Senate.
Well, yeah, okay, well,
and they're pumping
the way they're acting. The three separate. There is no separation of the government right now, Sam. Absolutely none whatsoever.
And they're pumping it through our free press, which is actually Mockingbird propaganda, Aardvark media, Fox News, commentator.
Also part of the administration, because wow, where did most of these people come from, anyways?
Fox News commentator Mark Levin, a leading voice within the MAGA movement. It's like this dude was never the MAGA movement. That's BS. He's the Aardvark movement.
He was the leader of the bowel movement.
So ridiculous. Aardvark land is engaged in what one senior Aardvark land official described as stubborn negotiations with the Trump administration over keeping Aardvark land troops deployed in southern Lebanon, according to a report out of Reuters. Two Aardvark land officials told Reuters that Aardvark land does not intend to back down from its position, that troops should remain in Lebanon despite the Iran-U.S. agreement. One official said the outcome could ultimately depend on whether President Trump decides to force the issue by threatening repercussions if Aardvark land refuses to comply with the pact's terms. They're trying right now, working overtime to destroy any peace deal with Iran because they're our greatest ally.
This is a clever ploy. See what they did, Sam. They tricked everybody into thinking that they really don't have any sort of blackmail material on Trump by suggesting that we have to work hard to lobby the senators and to lobby the administration to get our way. Oh, gee, yep. Okay, I see what they're doing here.
When they're all in the back room, doing their PDF thing. Okay.
Like constantly reminding Trump, you know what we have on you, right? He's like, yeah, I know.
And they're like, you want to come to that next PDF party at Deals, right, bro?
Oh, absolutely. He's like, yes, sir, please.
Right. Okay. It's just all so sordid, dark, and sinister now, isn't it? When world peace hangs in the balance. Continuing here. And they're still bombing Lebanon. Trump announced in France, Iran announced, we signed the MOU. What does Aardvark land do? They go about bombing Lebanon after the signing of the agreement to sit down and talk, right? Is what it all amounts to. And a bunch of these different stipulations. They say, well, you do this, and we'll sit down and talk about it. Right.
They have never, ever gone and bombed places in the middle of peace negotiations, Sam. Like,
no,
never.
That's what they do every single time, Ruckus, that we're close to peace negotiations.
Well, then I guess we don't need to act surprised.
They whacked the negotiators a few times here now.
Well, I guess we're lucky they didn't do that in this case.
Yet.
Well, maybe because Vance wasn't quite ready yet. Oh,
I don't think Aardvark land's going to be able to bomb Switzerland, but I wouldn't put anything past these psychopaths at this point.
I heard a rumor they got something called nuclear, something like that.
Wouldn't that be a great end to the world? Iran, U.S.,
Switzerland.
Iran U.S. peace negotiations in Switzerland nuked by aardvark land. Literally, that would be a great end to the world if we believe any of this. But in the last 24 hours now, let's see. Lebanon Health Ministry said the official toll from the war increased by 28 deaths and 17 injuries over the past 24 hours, bringing the total since the war escalated March 2nd to 3,912 dead Lebanese civilians and 11,873 wounded Lebanese civilians.
Where's the numbers on the militants?
They don't
even the terrorists.
They don't even count them.
Well, huh? Okay.
I haven't seen where they actually break out who's the Hezbollah terrorist. It's just you're all terrorists. That's what they say. You're all terrorists.
Wait, how long before they even just dropped the terrorist part? They're like, yeah, just wait.
You're all just Lebanese. That's bad enough, right? You're almost. They're like this much as bad as the Palestinians. Like
they send in Alex Karp, and he's like, "We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're doing the thing." So. Continued attacks by aardvark land on Lebanon, airstrikes, drone strikes, artillery shelling. This report goes through all the different places. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like over 10 different localities in the last 24 hours. It's ongoing war. Southern Lebanon aardvark land forces opened fire toward Lebanese army personnel, rescue workers, and residents in border town of Hatta in Lebanon's Bitchute district near the aardvark land border as they search for bodies beneath the rubble, inspecting damaged properties. Aardvark land military drone dropped a stun grenade near a family that had just returned to their home in Nabathi Fawak on earlier today, Thursday, forcing them to seek shelter before rescue teams evacuated them, according to local reports. Here's on the map. They're telling them don't go back to your house because a bunch of Lebanese want to go back to their homes, and they're saying don't go back there. You are still in danger. And so I'd say it's pretty dangerous. 3 people have been killed and 2 others wounded in aardvark land drone strikes across southern Gaza earlier today. That's after the MOU was signed.
That's between the U.S. and Iran, and I guess Israel and Iran. What they're doing in Gaza, what they're doing in Lebanon has nothing to do with Iran. Sam, don't you know this?
Aardvarks are suffering casualties as well. How many are we up to? I had a report here. Let's see. Resistance explosive device kills invading aardvark land soldiers, wounds 7 officers and troops in southern Lebanon.
See, again, this is weird. We're getting numbers of how many civilians one side kills and then how many of their military are killed, but not a combination. How many civilians have the Lebanese killed? How many civilians have the Gazans killed? Wait, 0? Is that 0? Okay, yeah.
Dan Bongino.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were doing. 0. Now I recognize it. Now, yeah, you got to do that every time, and I got you. But you see what I'm saying, right? I'm like, there seems to be a strange, giant disconnect going on here. But anyways, whatever that could be, I'll leave you all to figure it out.
One side, all of the civilians are claimed to be terrorists because they live on the land that was given by the evil God 3,000 years ago to these guys from Poland claiming to be septics, which are really not septics. It's a whole sordid tale of lies, twists, propaganda. It's really messed up, but everybody should look into it and figure out what is all behind it as we continue to cover here at Weaponized News. It's quite sordid and evil. Smotrich, Finance Minister Smotrich says the war should end with a political declaration expanding aardvark land's border.
He did not say that, really?
Yeah, he did. Like they're taking all that land they're already occupying in southern.
How much you want to bet if we suggested that he would ever come out and say that we would get in trouble for saying that?
I'll play the video of him saying it if you want.
No, I'm just saying that, like, it's anti-Semitic for us to suggest that they would say something like this, but then they just come out and say this, right? That's totally cool.
They say it like every day that we continue to report. Like, they're not shy about it. Smotrich went on to say, Gaza will remain in ruins. In the end, there will be migration because there will be nothing to look for there in the coming decades.
Is this what Jerry Seinfeld meant when he said it doesn't exist? He was talking about the near future. Oh.
They're still whacking Palestinians. In the last 24 hours, 3 Palestinians killed by Aardvark land drone. And there's video of them carrying the body here of the dead Palestinian. Over 1,000 Palestinians killed by Aardvark land in Gaza since the 2025 ceasefire amid push of expansion. And they're talking about they're going to go back in heavy into Gaza again. It's like on again, off again. They act like, maybe not, but I think they have those plans as we continue to report. Aardvark land troops have killed more than 1,000 Palestinians in Gaza since October 2025, quote, ceasefire. Again, there's no ceasefire. You can't say ceasefire and then whack people and stack their bodies up and then say we're in a ceasefire. That's called a war. That's called a genocide. It's ongoing and never stopped since October 7, 2023. It has not stopped. It's ongoing, regardless of whatever headline you see out there. Oh, there's ceasefire, bro. No, there has never been a ceasefire. They continue to stack bodies every day.
The ceasefire is for the other side. They're the ones who are supposed to cease the fire.
They're not firing at them. They're refugees in tents. Here's
they're doing good. Yeah, we got a ceasefire. See, it's working.
They're going to push them all the way to the sea here now. They keep moving this line. They've taken all this land, right? They pushed them, the famous yellow line that we reported many children allegedly get too close to this line and get whacked, right? Playing. I forget, was it like a 12, 13-year-old girl playing near this line shot in the head because you're too close to the line. They've already taken all this. Well, they've taken the whole place, right? The big map. They've taken the whole place, and now we're down to this little tiny, see that red square? This little tiny strip of Gaza Strip. And now they're squeezing all that. They've taken all this, pushing the Palestinians to live inside this yellow line. They're going to continue to push until they're in the sea or dead, which would be one and the same. And then you have the occupied West Bank. They're also working on that as well, Ruckus.
That's horrible. The little girl shooting her in the head because she got too close to the yellow line. Now, if she had crossed the yellow line, I would suggest that absolutely shoot a little tiny girl in the head. Without question. I mean, anybody would do that, right? I mean, we can all agree there. But I mean, to do it just because you got a little too close, I don't know, man. Maybe that was a little unfair, don't you think?
It's a bit extreme, but there's security risks. So anything for Aardvark land security. They're bombing refugees in tents here. Several were killed and wounded as an Aardvark land airstrike on a vehicle west of Gaza City. You can see the image right here, and there's a bunch of video of it too. There you go. That's all the reporting we got for today. We made it in 2 hours. Let's see if anything interesting. Iran international headlines here. U.S.-Iran cautiously optimistic as Strait of Hormuz reopens. That's a good way to put it. Cautiously optimistic. Iran to get access to $6 billion in frozen funds under interim deal, according to the Financial Times. Vance cancels Switzerland trip as talks logistics remain unresolved. Tehran familiar battle lines return over deal with U.S. Trump defends Iran war, says there are no limits to presidential power. Who in their right freaking mind can agree to that? If that's actually what he said, then you want a dictator, you want a king. Go live in freaking England. We fought a revolutionary war against this shit in 1776, and we're celebrating America 250. So if you like that from Trump MAGA, you're freaking red coat traitors. Sick of it, Ruckus.
That's not all that was founded in 1776.
Oh, the Illuminati as well?
Oh. Well, it's supposed to be up there. It's not up there. All right. Yes, the Illuminati, 100%.
Headlines out of Al Jazeera, and then we'll wrap up this show. It's just, I can't.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry.
By Adam Weishaupt. The official, the real Illuminati.
Which is completely ended, disbanded, no more, of course, you know. Wink, wink, nod, nod, says Peter Thiel.
One last report I was going to skip, but now that you brought up the Illuminati, I got to go back to it. And then we'll wrap up the show here, Ruckus. Victor Scott on the X posted this, and it looks to be pretty accurate to me. All of the world leaders are in on these planned theatrical events like the Iran war, which do nothing but increase debt, cause death, create chaos, and make life harder for the average person. Joe Blow Iranian, Joe Blow American, Joe Blow's average persons. They are all members of various branches of Freemasonry and other secret societies. Here are just a few countries' name or branch relationships. In China, they're called the Triads. In Iran, the Foremost Kana, House of Oblivion. In Aardvarkland, Sons of the Covenant. In Turkey, the Golden Lodge of Turkey, Young Turks. In Japan, Grand Lodge of Japan, Yokozuna. In India, Grand Lodge of India, Lodge Rising Star of Western India. In America, United States, Blue Lodge, Scottish Rite, York Rite, Prince Hall, Freemasonry, Shriners International, Order of the Eastern Star, and so on. All branches of the same society, all sworn to secrecy, and all working toward the same goal, the great work. There may be some disagreements, infighting, and jockeying for position. However, make no mistake, they are all working together.
Yeah, that's a classic reworking. Basically, Bill Cooper said something very similar during his Mystery Babylon series. I don't know the exact quote, but he listed out a whole bunch of these different groups and whatnot in the Illuminati, and he says you will come to learn that they are all one and the same, and they are indeed. Yes, they're all part of the mystery religion. So yeah, it's neat.
Chinese, Americans, Iranians, aardvarks. All right, let's head over to the channels, Odysee, quickly, and then we'll wrap up this broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Thursday. We're hoping for peace. It looks like Aardvarkland's doing everything they can to spike the peace deal for Scully over there on the Odysee. I did like the song Flashlight, but the true meaning, I was only 13, never had a clue. Let's see. Fat Bob says, I'll type my fingers until they bleed on the radio and TV business. John Todd let the cats out of the bag praying satanic prayers and rituals over records prior to release, turned to Christ and forever decried the entertainment industry. Remember that guy? Remember clips of John Todd on the internet? No? He claimed to be an Illuminati insider and was exposing a bunch of SRA abuse and cloning, I believe. A bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't remember his name.
Let's see here now. Shout out to Force Scully, Fat Bob. They seem to be the only ones over there. Oh, John on the, let's see, if they had to look up candidates and read their platform, they might be too frustrated to do the wrong thing and vote. I think he's talking about Peter Thiel's comments about voting in this country. Let's see. Well, it's a white substance. Milk and cocaine might look alike from the air. It's talking about bombing the dairy. Oh, man. Yeah, it was an honest mistake. Oh, man. Shout out to Pink Huffman. Let's see. Shout out to Fat Bob. He had to leave, he said. Yeah, Pink, I get fired up. If they're worshiping Trump like he's a king, God, that's not what this country's about. You could like Trump all you want, but when you start saying these statements that he's above the law and all this, it's like, no, man, that's not what America's supposed to be about. And if you support it, then you're supporting tyranny. And that's not what this country's about. Or why even have America 250? You know what I mean? It's just go worship Trump statues or worship him all day. It's like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in on Odysee, X, Kick, BitChute, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube and Facebook as well. Let's not forget Facebook. We're doing well on Facebook, even though my morale on Facebook's actually high. User morale, I'd like to report to you, Facebook is high. Thank you for actually letting people see our material over there. So I do appreciate it. I understand Meta Workforce has low morale, but we'll turn that around with something here now. Okay, let's take a look at the Rumble YouTube chats. I'll just scroll up about halfway here. Mac, shout out to Mac. He said, I never heard of Epstein, but it was clear Botstein had alibied Mount Desert Island. Huh. Shout out to Denver on the Rumble, Zio, Botstein. Yeah, and if you see the picture of the guy, it's like, he kind of looks like Aleister Crowley, honestly. It's just like, you couldn't make this up, right? Professor Botstein at Bard College. Like, but I saw the stories. I was like, this is fake, right? What? Botstein? It's real. It's real. And the guy looks very similar to Aleister Crowley. It's just like very weird. All this stuff, these people are just, they give me the creeps and they're weird, man. I pulled about 50 Godzilla movies and more from Pirate Bay before they met their maker. Archibald said. Yeah, remember the old pirate hacking days of the I don't even know it's really hacking, but the pirate days of the internet. You know what? Somebody told me, not giving advice, but the Russian search engine allegedly, I forget what is it, Ruckus? The Russian search engine, it's like X something. Anyway, there's a Russian search engine, and if you search internet on there, you can see a lot of stuff that you don't see on American search engines, i.e. pirated sites for one. Just putting that out there.
Family-friendly entertainment without nudity, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Can you imagine it?
Let's see. Ryshak on the YouTube says they did the same thing to the narcotics officer in the late 90s when they got too close to Mena, Arkansas. Remember the two kids? There was two young kids that got too close to Mena, Arkansas, and they whacked them too. I remember that.
What do you mean by they?
The government, the CIA, the drug smugglers. Let's see. Max says, "What was Podesta shut of shareholders meeting?" I don't know if I get that. Let's see. Golden, shout out to Golden Coffee and Smoke a Bowl time. Well, now you can own a firearm as well there. So good work at the Supreme Court. At least they're holding up some of our rights and getting rid of some of this nonsense. It's a freaking flower, people. All right. And I do understand it's been weaponized by bad people out there. But at the end of the day, it's a freaking hemp plant and it's a flower. You know what I mean? Denver. Shout out to Denver. Let's see. Doris. What is NATO good for anyway? Killing Russians, according to its head. Let's see. Pamela says, no, Root is a moron, neocon. The total dead per month is way less. The body exchange per month has been running at 1,000 Ukrainians and 35-ish Russians. Yeah. He says 30 to 35,000 dead Russians a month.
Wow.
Let's see. Kel says Russia could have stopped all this in the beginning, but they were allegedly told by U.S. Aardvark Land to continue the depopulation agenda. I don't know about that. NATO put freaking missiles right on the border there of Ukraine is really, and they were carrying on. I can't even get into it because YouTube don't like you talking about what really, it was an unprovoked invasion by Putin. All right. That's official line and we're sticking to it. But Oliver Stone did do a great documentary, Ukraine on Fire. Everybody should take a look at that. Back before any of this even started, to give you the background about what got us to here, where we can't seem to have peace between Ukraine and Russia via proxy America. NATO is good for nothing. People don't like NATO so much in the chats, in the comments over there. Ola says Oppenheimer to give the plans to manufacture nuclear weapons to Aardvark Land. And it was France that built the Duma nuclear power plant. It's official Trump capitulation to Iran. Loser. Well, yeah, Wikipedia says Iran won the war, and that's official. Official. Let's see. Zio says memorandum of ununderstanding. That's a good one. Exactly. That's where we're at. Memorandum of ununderstanding. The IRGC is the main operation of all these groups. Yeah. France conducted nuclear tests since Aardvark Land is supposed to be free of nuclear weapons. Let's see. Smoke trick. Denver says there. If your name is Smoke Trick, you're probably suspect and not to be trusted. The Rosenbergs helped the Soviet Union acquire nuclear weapons through Oppenheimer. They got executed as being spies for the Soviet Union for their efforts. Now, didn't they? Aardvark Land almost helped South Africa acquire nuclear weapons. Thankfully, segregation ended, and then everything was dismantled, allegedly. Can nuclear weapons even? That's a whole nother discussion. Can we have a thermonuclear Holocaust as portrayed in Hollywood? Is any of that even real? You know what I mean? It's starting to look like if they had. It's starting to look like. Did you read Albert Pike? Very interesting. Yeah, we've covered that. Albert Pike's alleged letter predicting World War III between the Muslims and the Zionists, right? Yeah, we've covered that. Yandex. Yeah, that's the Russian search engine. Yandex. Allegedly, I've heard you can find some information harder to find over here through American search engines on that Russian search engine. Eskimo Barbie, Ninth Circle member. Ooh, Root is a Ninth Circle member. That doesn't sound good. Tina Fey SNL of Palin was fun. Pamela said. All right, Ruckus, any final thoughts before we wrap up this broadcast? Thank you for sticking 20 minutes extra with me today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. No, I got nothing, my friend. I'm exhausted.
Boiler room? You got boiler room tomorrow?
I'm pretty sure we're doing boiler room tomorrow. Okay, so I got to think about this. I do have an announcement to make. So not this weekend, so not Sunday this week, but the following Sunday will be the premiere of an interview that I did, an appearance on with Charlie Robinson for his podcast Macro Aggressions. So that will premiere next Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And as I mentioned, my own new program, The Ruckus File, will either come out this weekend or next weekend. So I look forward to all of you checking that out and letting me know what you think. And then, of course, hopefully I'll be here with you, God willing, next week, Sam. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Ruckus. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on this Thursday. As always, everybody, do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening. We'll be back here on Friday for more weaponized news. And let's pray for peace that somehow, some way, we sort this whole thing out and Aardvark land calms down. I don't see it happening, honestly. But, hey, maybe we can have divine intervention here for world peace. We shall see. All right. Thank you again.